This is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the testimony of Johnny Depp on day 22 of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll go through a brief background of this case, move to the summary of the testimony, then offer my analysis. In December of 2018, the Washington Post published an op-ed written by the actress Amber Heard, in which she implied that she was a victim at the hands of her ex-husband Johnny Depp, although she did not specifically name him in the op-ed. Johnny Depp sued Amber Heard for defamation, and she countersued. In April of 2022, the trial began in Virginia. Now moving to the summary of the testimony of Johnny Depp on day 22 of the trial. This was part of the rebuttal. Much of this is paraphrased. Johnny's attorney starts by directing him to statements made by a former attorney of his, which represents the basis of Amber Heard's countersuit. The former attorney said that Amber had perpetrated a hoax. Johnny distanced himself from the former attorney's comments by saying that it looked like word salad to him. I'm not sure this was the best statement for Johnny to make, because he doesn't want to give the jury any reason to believe that his reading comprehension is impaired. The statements of his former attorney may be true or not true, but either way they don't look like word salad. On the topic of Aquaman, Johnny talked about how he interceded with Warner Brothers to help Amber Heard deal with the fact that the movie was going to be filmed in Australia. Johnny said that filming in Australia was a problem for Amber, but then an objection prevented him from saying why. So we didn't get to hear Johnny's thoughts on that subject. Johnny claimed that he never took 8 to 10 ecstasy pills at one time, which was an assertion made earlier in the trial. The notorious finger removal incident in Australia was revisited. Johnny described the scene in the house, like talking about where everybody was standing and where objects were. He explained how he sent a text message to his physician using just one hand. The incident on the Orient Express was mentioned. Johnny said that Amber gave him a black eye when they were riding on this train. Photographic evidence appears to support his claim. The issue of Kate Moss allegedly being pushed down the steps was touched on. Johnny said that the incident occurred in Jamaica during a rainstorm. Kate Moss was walking down 3 steps when she slipped and fell. Johnny attended to her, but he did not push her. Johnny maintains that Amber lied. In earlier testimony, Kate Moss confirmed Johnny's version of events. Johnny talked about Amber's sister, Whitney. He said that he loved her. She was a sweet kid. He claimed that Amber was mean to her. She threw wine in Whitney's face, grabbed her, pushed her, and verbally mistreated her. Johnny addressed the issues of charitable contributions, saying that a former business manager and attorney embezzled from him. This makes it seem like their credibility might not be too great. Johnny said that sometimes when he donates money, his name is not involved. The topic of the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles came up, but there was an objection, and Johnny was not permitted to answer questions about it. Johnny's attorney directed him to talk about May 20, 2016, the day his mother died. Johnny said that 7 days later, Amber filed a restraining order against him, even though Amber knew he was out of town for quite some time. This makes it seem as though Amber was doing it more out of a need to be dramatic than due to safety concerns. Johnny talked about what it was like to listen to Amber provide her testimony. He said that it was insane and horrible. The heinous accusations were ridiculous, ludicrous, painful, brutal, savage, cruel, and humiliating. In addition, all her claims were false. He never committed any type of sexual or physical violence. Johnny suggested that this was his first chance to tell his story. He's been waiting for 6 years to tell the truth, and no matter the outcome of the trial, he's glad he has been able to speak up now. Johnny's testimony continued under cross-examination. Amber's attorney asked him about the incident on the Orient Express. There is a photograph that made it seem like Johnny already had a mark near his eye before he boarded the train. Johnny said it must have been photoshopped. Amber's attorney pointed out that Johnny requested ecstasy after getting injured in Australia. This makes it seem like Johnny's use was more problematic than he let on. Amber's attorney brought up a series of text messages written by Johnny that were revealing. Johnny wrote things like there was anger inside of him and he didn't care about the repercussions of his behavior. In reference to women, he said, quote, "I need, I want, I take," unquote. There were a number of mean comments directed toward Amber Heard specifically, including some that made it seem like Johnny was trying to get her fired from the Aquaman movie. As far as Johnny's claim that this was his first chance to tell his story, Amber's attorney pointed out that he sued the Sun newspaper in June of 2018, which was before Amber Heard's op-ed was published. Under redirect, Johnny explained that his lawsuit was against the Sun, not against Amber. He suggested that he was irate when he wrote the offensive text messages, but that is much different than hurting someone physically. He explained that somebody might have borrowed his phone and typed the offensive messages. Redirect ends with Johnny affirming that he was never violent. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few items that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Johnny was generally calm during his testimony. He spoke slowly. He frequently paused for dramatic effect. He had difficulty getting to his point, like he took a circuitous route. He kept going on longer than he needed to. Similar to his earlier testimony, Johnny was cantankerous and audacious with Amber's attorney. At one point he said, "I can't please you all the time," with yes and no answers. I actually felt as though Johnny had a good point when he said that. Amber's attorney has a habit of trying to elicit dichotomous responses to questions where that's not possible or accurate. During a less favorable moment of irritation on Johnny's part, Johnny directly said to Amber's attorney, "You'll be okay," after the attorney's objection was overruled. The reality in this situation is that even if Amber Heard is lying, even if she is the perpetrator and Johnny is innocent, her attorneys are just doing their job. They do not have the same level of wealth and power as Johnny Depp, although as this trial continues, they are probably getting quite a bit wealthier. Johnny's behavior just makes him look arrogant and vindictive, like he's punching down. In addition, there is no advantage for him to do this, so Johnny's losing points here for no reason. Item number 2, Johnny's explanations for some of his unkind text messages were insufficient. He flat out denied some of them, and with others he said that maybe somebody else wrote them. The content of those messages was inconsistent with what an assistant would write. It seems fairly clear that Johnny wrote those messages. I think that Johnny would have been better off just accepting responsibility for what he wrote, especially considering that Amber has not accepted responsibility for just about anything that she's done. This offered Johnny a way to distinguish himself from Amber, to take the high ground, yet here he threw that opportunity away. Item number 3, I think that Johnny made a bold move by trying to minimize his use of ecstasy, especially considering he has already admitted to massive amounts of substance use. His responses on this topic connect to a familiar theme in this trial, arguing about issues that have already been settled and bringing more attention to them than is necessary. Item number 4, Johnny dealt a massive blow to Amber's case on the Kate Moss incident. It would appear that Amber simply lied about this issue. Perhaps Amber felt like she could get away with anything. She figured she would just pile on the accusations, even if they involved a third party. Somehow it never occurred to Amber that the third party could simply contradict her story. I think this supports the idea that Amber is not only lying, but she's bad at it. It's possible that Amber lies so much that she believes her lies are true. So she is genuinely surprised when these other people contradict her story. Amber has also made it seem like Johnny is so powerful that he can convince all these people to lie for him. Like people are so afraid of him, they won't say no to him. Item number 5, the testimony about the timing of Amber filing for the temporary restraining order makes Amber look petty, vindictive, and lacking in empathy. I think that the evidence supports this idea that Amber did not need the restraining order and that she filed it for dramatic effect. I think that she was truly afraid, not of Johnny Depp, but of the most frightening entity she has ever encountered, which is not being the center of attention. No restraining order is going to fix that problem. Item number 6, I think that Johnny scored points when he answered the question about what it was like to listen to Amber Heard's testimony. He remained consistent with his narrative that she was being deceptive, and he was simply trying to speak up to defend himself from the terrible and false accusations. The fact that he sued the newspaper doesn't really hurt him. Rather, it's consistent with his pattern of defending his reputation. I think what hurt him was losing the lawsuit in the United Kingdom. As I've said in prior videos, I don't see anybody winning a defamation claim in this trial. Johnny appeared to acknowledge this reality when he talked about how he was happy to tell his side of the story regardless of the outcome. He wants to establish that he can still achieve victory over Amber despite not prevailing with his defamation claim. This is a smart move for Johnny. No matter what the outcome is, he needs to frame this experience as a victory. Item number 7 is a case conceptualization. Among the many themes that have emerged in this case is how people can set unrealistic expectations, and sometimes this can be tied in with a sense of entitlement. Both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had very high expectations for their romantic relationship. It was perfect, magical, a dream come true. Over time, the boundaries between their identities became blurred. They started to view each other as property. This is where the expectations convert to a sense of entitlement. From this mindset, anything they did was permissible. In their minds, they were justified in all of their actions. It explains Johnny's unkind text messages and out-of-control substance use, and it explains Amber's repeated deceptive behavior, dramatic demands, and physical violence. Ultimately, it became a competition between the two of them to see who could behave in a more atrocious manner, who could hold on to the other person with more tenacity. Ultimately, it appears as though Amber is the one who was not willing to let go of the property mentality. In her mind, Johnny was not free to reject her. She falsely accused Johnny in order to make him suffer and forced him to take action to clear his name. When he did that, Amber activated her gaslighting behavior and made Johnny out as the aggressor. Now she once again gets to play the victim by demanding that Johnny just leave her alone. Throughout this trial, Amber wanted to show the world her true self. Unfortunately for her, she was successful. They have seen a person with a lack of insight, a vindictive nature, a tendency to deceive, and a pronounced ability to manipulate. Those are my thoughts on Johnny Depp's testimony during rebuttal. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comments section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.